dance for joy or lust or anger.
Welcome to Sensible Secondhand Reviews, the series where we look at practical and sensible cars that you can buy between £1,000 and £5,000. This is a 2018 Peugeot 108 1 litre VTI active. But is it any good? Should you care? Let's find out, shall we? So the 108 was launched at the same time as the second generation Citroën C1 and Mark II Toyota Aygo back in 2014. It was the second generation of a collaboration between PSA and Toyota. All three cars were made on the same production line in the Czech Republic, and they have very similar engineering. The base engine when the car came out was the good old 1K RFE engine that had been in the previous generation of those cars, the 107 C1 and Aygo Mark I. And in this application it generates 69 horsepower. From about 2016 there was a supplementary version with variable valve timing, or VTI, which has 72 horsepower, about 200 fitted into this one, and by 2018 all the 1 litre 108s and C1s and Aygos had this particular engine. There's also a 1.2 PureTech engine, which is PSA's own engine, and it first appeared in the 208 in 2012. I wouldn't recommend that engine necessarily over the 1 litres, because although it's got a bit more power and you'd be going a bit faster than in this one, which does 0 to 60 in, I don't know, 12-13 seconds, it's got a wet timing belt in it. So, not much more to say than we said when we were doing the Citroën C1, other than that we've of course got a different front end on this car, and this is a 5-door version. Like the other one, you could get a 3-door, but this is a more basic specification. We don't have the chromed mirror caps, we don't have a sort of chrome strip running along the side of the car. We have wheel trims, which is fine. A lot of people who would buy a 108 or a C1 or an Aygo would not want the top spec. You want to save money, of course. Got a tiny little diffuser at the back as well, which is interesting. One thing I've been having trouble with is getting that number plate in the right place to be visible in case the police are watching what I'm doing, because if I don't have this in, I'm not insured and I don't have road tax. I've managed to wedge it in. Unlike the C1, this one actually does have a tyre repair kit, so it's for full 196 litres. It is a bit less with the spare wheel. I should have said that in that review. So yeah, the parcel shelf, if you can call it that, this little sort of thing, in the unity sits there. You don't have to sort of worry about it really, it's kind of there. So yeah, enough for a couple of things. It's much bigger than a 108, but still not massive. And this is all glass, like the 107 was. I'm going to have to get in the back, aren't I, viewers? Right, I'm not going to enjoy this, I know I'm not. Okay. So pop out rear windows, just like a 107, and just hard plastic, but this is a small, light, inexpensive car, and this is one of the ways that they enable it to be a light, inexpensive car, by not fitting wind down rear windows. Only a 4-seater in here, like a Volkswagen Up, and it's got a city going to say at me. It does feel a bit dark because of these seats and the fact the windows are really small. We've not got very heavily tinted rear windows like we did on the C1. So there's a bit more light in here, which is better in my opinion. Let's see if we can get a leg in. Yep. It's okay. I mean, if you sit upright, well, my knees do fit in here. I'm about 5'11", but my head is brushing the roof. I wouldn't want to go in here for too too long if I could avoid it. Got a little cup holder down there. We have got some door bins, which are quite big actually in this car for some reason. Everything that you need and nothing that you don't, really. I've just noticed it's got cruise control. It's got no rev counter and a plastic steering wheel, but it's got cruise control. Okay. Well, it's kind of a cheery seat fabric, otherwise this car is very much an unremitting grey, isn't it? Ooh, manual windows as well. Sorry, manual mirrors. I haven't got manual windows yet. That'll be very basic. I think the absolute sort of base models of these might have come with manual front windows. But this active model, it actually got electric windows in the front. And we've got 2 switches, both for the driver and the passenger. In the previous 107, we only got the one. You had to reach over to that side to operate the passenger window. No rev counter, of course. This is more of a basic model, although there's the cruise control stalk, which is utterly bizarre to me. Let's put the key in. There we go. Let's turn that. And there we go. A nice colour screen that you didn't get that in a 107. Particularly because this is one of the later ones. It's a 68 registration. There was a sort of update around the time. I wouldn't really call it a facelift really on the 108 because I'm not really sure the exterior really changed. It's more like interior updates. So yeah, this nice, I think it's maybe like a 7-inch screen. And it does stuff. Connection. I wonder if that means you get Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. Oh, mirror link. Oh, there we go. Excellent. Has got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. What more do you need in life? I've got the simplest ventilation controls ever. In fact, the temperature's controlled like that and the fan's controlled like this. There's the air conditioning button. And there's the 12-volt socket with aux in and USB. Very basic gear lever. No lever on here. Normal handbrake, thank goodness. Not much really of anything. Ooh, does that mean I get to put the secret mission documents in here? No, I do not. Can I put them in the door? Yes, I'll do. Yeah, it's all very hard plastic with tons of bare metal on show, and of course the manual mirrors. But it does feel like this car's going to be built to last. It's done 48,000 miles, which is bang on average for the year of the car. And it feels nicely enough put together. It's just the plastic's obviously hard and you only get 2 air vents. I imagine there's something exciting that goes here, but I'm not sure what that is. Let's have a look under the bonnet, shall we? So, this is the 1KR B52 engine, developing 72 horsepower. It's actually the same engine that is in the current Toyota Aygo X. These cars were made in the same factory as the Mark II Aygo and a Mark II Citroën C1, which is in the Czech Republic. The B52 is an updated version of a 1KR FE that had been in various Toyota, Daihatsu, Citroën and Peugeot models since about 2005. It's in the Daihatsu Sirion, for example, that I had a no budget reviews back in the spring. So the B52, about 3 more horsepower than the 1KR FE. Very, very, very dependable engine generally. You could do very high miles with these. They're chain driven. They're not infallible. You can have problems with them, but they are, you know, much less common than a lot of other engines. Very sort of dinky space in here with dinky engine. You could get a 1.2 as well. Wouldn't recommend that PureTech engine. I'd stick with one of these. So it's actually quite smooth to drive, particularly with this manual gearbox. You could get a semi-automatic which the C1 that I drove a couple of days ago that you would already be seen on my channel had, and that's okay. It's an automated manual, so I'm not very fond of those really, but it's all right. This is better, and also this engine is better, a bit more power than the earlier ones. It's only 3 more horsepower, but every little helps. It actually feels fast enough for most people, I would imagine. The handling is okay. There's a bit of body roll, but the steering actually is remarkably accurate. I think it's probably an electric system in this car, but it's weighted really quite nicely. I'm actually really surprised. I think because the C1 that I drove 2 days ago had a steering wheel ball on it, obviously it had been owned by someone who had mobility issues. This hasn't got the steering wheel ball, and so you can feel the steering, and you don't have to continually sort of avoid the steering wheel ball with your hands. It actually drives really well. I'm really surprised. I like the fact they've got these nice quality feeling indicator and wiper stalks that I think are off a Mark III Toyota Yaris. You still have to rev the little 1 litre a little bit to get off the line, but the clutch is a lot nicer in this than in the 107. Now that car had done almost 100,000 miles, it's only 48, so that might have something to do with it, but it might be that they switched to a hydraulic clutch in this rather than a cable one, which would explain it. Ride's actually pretty good, and you know, it holds on nicely through the bends. Brakes are pretty good. See, there's not much weight to stop anyway in this. I'm not sure if this even weighed a ton. So yeah, but quite impressive really. It's a lot better than I remember one of these being. It was the C1 that I drove from 2016 briefly, and my main issue is getting it going and dealing with the clutch. But this is in really nice condition. Simon from Langley Prestige, who's borrowed the car today, always tends to pick really nice examples of cars, and this is one of them. I've actually enjoyed it a lot more than I expected. Certainly changing from that automatic C1 to this manual 108 has made quite a lot of difference. Lloyd Young Consulting stickers, t-shirts and mugs are available by clicking the link to the Google form in the video description below. Let's now look at some Peugeot 108 trim levels. Not nearly as many as in the Citroën C1 for some reason. It's actually only 8 of them. I think the Citroën C1 had almost 20. So we've got the Access as a base model, the Active, which is this one, the Allure, which is a little bit higher, the Collection, the Feline, strange, Feline Nav, the GT line. You didn't get any more power, I don't think, than the standard 1.2 in that, and then the Roland Garros, which would of course be my choice, viewers. Hopefully in that nice green they used to make with the 205 Roland Garros. You could also get the 108 with canvas roof, known as the 108 Dub. They do actually say Dub in French, actually. I do have a degree in French. Not that I needed to say that. Anyway, should you consider a Peugeot 108 for your hard-earned budget between £1,000 and £5,000? Well, even this 68 registration example with 48,000 miles on the clock is only advertised at £7,000 at Langley Prestige in Chelmsford. So yes, why not? Very economical, generally quite dependable, simple to work on. Probably not quite as simple as a 107, where I think you could change a clutch in one of those in 30 minutes if you knew what you were doing. But nevertheless, quite nice. I think the spec's a little bit weird in this one, but you know, there we go. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video and comment below, and we shall see you again very soon for more reasonably priced motoring.